Everybody, a little bit of 49ers news on a Wednesday night, something unexpected, but yet expected. Actually, it was expected 4 years ago. The 49ers agreed to terms this evening with Mac Jones. A league source confirmed to me. Ian Rappaport was the first one on it, and he reports $7 million contract for Mac Jones with $5 million guaranteed through incentives and whatever else. That price tag could go up to $11.5 million for 2 years. And so Mac Jones has been a name that people in my family talk about because they remember 2021 draft. And I think it started. I don't even know if I can find anything where I wrote where I thought the 49ers were going to select Mac Jones, but I certainly felt they were going to select Mac Jones. And I know Chris Sims felt that they were going to select Mac Jones as well. Chris Sims, obviously a good friend of Kyle Shanahan. And it actually got so heated. I remember people being furious at me for my prediction of Mac Jones as the 49ers pick at number three overall. And I just remember how, I think from that point forward, I started using the mute button on Twitter. I limited my mentions because things got ugly. I have to admit, they got ugly. And at that point, we're talking about it quite a bit on the podcast. That's probably where I said repeatedly that I thought Mac Jones would be the guy. And then a T-shirt was made. I said, hey, we should get a T-shirt made about, I survived the 2021 NFL draft. And sure enough, I'm wearing it. I survived the draft. And it turns out, um, part of this, the company that made this shirt, it was kind of based on what Kyle Shanahan said. It was after, it must have been after the draft. Well, yeah, it was after the 49ers selected Trey Lance, number three, or I forget the exact timing, but I remember Eric Branch. No, it was before the draft. Eric Branch of the Chronicle asked Kyle Shanahan, "Can you guarantee that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the team on Sunday?" And his answer was, "I can't guarantee that anybody will be alive on Sunday, so I can't guarantee that, Jimmy Garoppolo will be the quarterback." And thus, that became kind of the running joke of, oh my gosh, are any of us still going to be around on Sunday? And for a long time, it kind of felt like, oh gosh, are we going to be around? Because it was an exhausting time period. Of course, there was no combine that year because of the pandemic and everything else. And so the way I understand it is that the 49ers knew they wanted to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. They wanted to get a quarterback on a rookie contract. And Kyle Shanahan knew that everybody at that point, I think, knew that Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson were going 1-2 to Jacksonville and to the Jets. And as I understand the story, Kyle Shanahan, the first quarterback he looked at was Mac Jones. He was going to look at Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. The first guy he looked at was Mac Jones, and he really liked him. And he said, I'll take him. He right there is a guy that we would trade up to three to take. So the 49ers executed that trade with the Miami Dolphins. They move up to three. Okay, now they had Mac Jones in their back pocket. And then he started looking at the other two quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Trey Lance. And the story goes that just Trey Lance, he was enamored of his ability to make plays with his legs, strong arm. He was coming off that incredible season at North Dakota State. And, one of the stories is that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan went to Justin Fields' pro day at Ohio State. And when they got on the plane to travel to wherever they were going, Kyle Shanahan was drawing up plays with Trey Lance in mind. So the word never got out. Chris Sims, who is I remember having him on the podcast, and he said he would be shocked. Chris Sims is such a good friend of Kyle Shanahan from their days at Texas that they have each other's initials tattooed on their ankles. That's how close they are. Chris Sims kept beating that drum. Mac Jones, Mac Jones, Mac Jones. Kyle Shanahan never set him straight. I remember on the podcast, he said, I would be shocked if the 49ers do not take Mac Jones with the number 3 overall pick. So we all know what happened. Mac Jones actually had a really good rookie season, made the Pro Bowl with the New England Patriots. Patriots took him at 15. So if the 49ers had stayed at 12, they would have gotten Mac Jones at 12. Um, he had a really good season. Then he fell off the face of the earth. The Patriots had a lot of upheaval. They did him no favors. After 3 seasons, they trade him to Jacksonville, where he served as the backup to Trevor Lawrence this past season, started 7 games. So he's a free agent. All those quarterbacks from that rookie class, all free agents because they all signed 4-year deals. And none of the teams picked up the 5th-year option. They all switched teams. Fields goes from the Bears to the Steelers. Lance goes from the 49ers to the Cowboys. Mac Jones from the Patriots to the Jaguars. And also Zach Wilson started off with the Jets. And I forget where he ended up. The Broncos, I think. So that's how far he fell. The only guy that stays with his original team, the first pick in the draft, that was Trevor Lawrence, and he signed a big money extension with Jacksonville last year. So here's the thing. The 49ers don't have a backup quarterback, not under contract anyway. They have Brock Purdy, who they're working toward getting a long-term extension for. They have Tanner Mordecai, an undrafted rookie that came to the team last year, was on the practice squad. They kept him around with the futures contract, so he's under contract for this year. And then Joshua Dobbs didn't think that he'd be re-signing with the 49ers. He doesn't. He goes to the New England Patriots. And then Brandon Allen, who's kind of twisting in the wind a little bit right now. So 49ers made their intention clear. And I had mentioned Mac Jones as a possibility to be the backup. But at the same time, I thought, man, do they really want to open up that can of worms to have everybody revisit the 2021 NFL draft, the draft that worked out so poorly, the draft that a lot of people thought if this doesn't work out with Trey Lance, people are going to lose their jobs. Nobody lost their jobs. And why is that? Because of Brock Purdy. The last overall pick, 262 in the 2022 NFL draft, saved the 49ers bacon. And that's a big reason why, I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's a reason why I think the 49ers and Brock Purdy, or the 49ers, shouldn't try to lowball Brock Purdy. From what I understand, they haven't, at least not to the degree that has been reported. So they're working towards something. But Mac Jones, I just had to smile tonight when I thought of that Mac Jones. Now it brought some bad stuff to the forefront as far as just the hostility on social media. In fact, you know what? I got to say this. Earlier today, I posted a headline. I thought everybody was in on the joke that Brock Purdy got performance-based pay. And so the headline, I'll take credit for it, blame for it. The headline was Brock Purdy gets paid and what's up with Demarcus Robinson or something along those lines. I thought everybody was on the joke. I thought you guys, and some people in the comments were just furious. Never watch you again. You're dead to me. All that. So I'm assuming those people aren't watching to hear my. That's not really an apology. Maybe it's a non-apology apology. If you were upset with that, I'm sorry, but I just thought that I was giving you guys credit for being able to laugh and understand the joke. Anyway, that's my apology. So I just have to laugh too at this latest 49ers news of Mac Jones, who, as I understand it, Mac Jones thought he was coming to the 49ers. I don't know how in depth or how much he's going to talk about that once he's with the 49ers. But as I understood it, He thought he was going to the 49ers. Trey Lance maybe didn't think he was going to the 49ers. The 49ers didn't tell anybody who they were going to select until they took that card up and Trey Lance's name was read. What I hear, or what John Lynch said, was that this was Kyle Shanahan's decision to go with Trey Lance. And Kyle later said there were two quarterbacks he really liked, Trey Lance and Mac Jones. Lynch suggested after the fact that he liked Trey Lance, but he knew that it had to be Kyle Shanahan's decision which quarterback to go with. And I think they broke for the weekend before the draft. They came back on the Monday, and Shanahan said, let's go with Lance. And John Lynch was relieved that that was the answer because that was the quarterback he wanted as well. So I don't think anybody forced Trey Lance down anybody's throat. I think that Kyle Shanahan did like Mac Jones a lot, but ultimately he's the guy who selected Trey Lance. He had Trey Lance. Trey Lance was dealt because he slid down the depth chart and was at least the number three quarterback behind Brock Purdy and behind um, Sam Darnold heading into 2023. And by the way, I remember people saying, oh, Trey Lance is outperforming Sam Darnold during that training camp. I don't know what those people were watching. But anyway, I think it's pretty clear now that Sam Darnold getting the big contract with Seattle after having a good season until the very end with Minnesota. And now Trey Lance, he's a free agent as well. Haven't heard anything about him going to another team, but the first time that the 49ers have an opportunity without making a trade, of course, to land Mac Jones, they get him. And I don't know if it's considered a full circle moment, but just think about that. The guy who at one point was being thought of as being the 49ers quarterback of the future, and a guy that, was very much part of the story for the whole I survived the 2021 NFL draft. Now he's with the 49ers under completely different circumstances. Brock Purdy is the guy. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan on record is saying Brock Purdy is going to be the quarterback, or they'd like him to be the quarterback of the 49ers as long as they both are here. And now comes Mac Jones as the 49ers backup. I don't know. I find it highly amusing and also a good story. Certainly the best story from a 49ers standpoint because nobody else of note has come to the team. And even though it is a backup position, it is the backup quarterback. So the 49ers making some news right now, not for who's leaving, not for who they weren't able to acquire, Joey Bosa, but for who they did acquire. And that's Mac Jones. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. And please subscribe if you maybe I can get you back. Maybe you unsubscribed after my Brock Purdy gets paid post of earlier today. But anyway, thanks for subscribing or liking or commenting, all that stuff. Love to hear your comments. And that's it for now.